Union of European Federalists. Hello and welcome to our interview with UEF President and MEP Sandro Gozi about the Conference on the Future of Europe. He will give us an insider's insight on the state of the conference, on the goal and challenges of the process, on the hopes and fears of its outcome, and we will take a look at the UEF perspective. And of course, we close with the personal opinion of Mr. Gozi about the future of Europe. So let's jump into the topic with a brief summary of what the conference is all about. The Conference on the Future of Europe is a process that started last May, on Europe Day to be precise, which is celebrated on 9th of May, as all of you might know, and it lasts until spring 22. It is a precious opportunity for European citizens to speak up and to say in what kind of Europe they want to live in. There is an online platform. You can find it easily on futureu.europa.eu, or you just give in your search engine Conference of the Future on Europe. And here on this platform, everyone can share their ideas about how Europe should develop and what topics should be considered on the European level. And they can attend or organize an event to discuss the future of Europe. So in a nutshell, the conference is a citizens' participation process, the first of its kind, and it's meant to get input and views to shape our common future. The outcome will be further worked on under France's EU Council presidency. And last weekend, the conference plenary discussed reports from the European citizens panels, national panels and events, the European Youth event, and the platform. So, Mr. Gozi, thank you for your time and the chance to get direct insight into the Parliament's discussion on the conference. Let's start. Where are we right now in the process of the conference? What happened so far? What is yet to come alive?
As you recall, the conference has started and we have already got several meetings of the so-called citizens panel. There are meetings where citizens randomly selected from all the 27 countries. There are 800 meet, discuss among them and come up with a proposal on how to reform Europe, they tell us their expectations from Europe. They've met already 4 times. They've discussed about democracy. They discussed about climate. They've discussed about the future of the Union. In parallel, we have also started the working parties meeting. These are meetings where the citizens meet the representative of the citizens. That means us, member of European Parliament, member of national parliament, ministers, member of national government, and this working group must structure a little bit more the topics of discussions, the issues to present to the plenary. And also there is, as you say, the plenary, which is the conference, as we say. We have already met twice. Last time was this last weekend in Strasbourg. And in the conference, everybody is represented. The citizens, representatives of the citizens, minister, commissioner, government. We are pretty advanced already in the proposal of the citizens, and now we have entered into a more operational phase for the conference and the working parties, and that's it. The next meeting will be in December.
Wonderful. So I guess it's now just a phase to gather ideas. So we don't have to talk about specific ideas at that point. But actually, in general, what are the goals of the conference? What do, for example, MEPs expect of its outcome?
The goal of the conference, it is the key political question, the key political issue, because we, member of European Parliament, we have pushed a lot to have the conference, which I want to recall was proposed by Emmanuel Macron in his letter on Renaissance of the 2nd of March 2019, at the beginning of the electoral campaign for the European Parliament. We have pushed a lot and we want to make the most of it. What do I mean by the most of it? We want to listen to the citizens and we want to take the commitment to give a follow-up to what the citizens ask us. If the citizens, for example, has to do more for climate, more for democracy, more for education, more for European culture, more for European youth, we must stand ready to ensure a follow-up. And if the follow-up, it is a new political initiative, we must take them. If the follow-up means new European laws, we must adopt them. If the follow-up means treaty revision to change the way the European Union functions, well, we have to revise the European treaties. But there are other actors, other forces, for example, a certain number of governments, some member of the national parliament, who wants to consider the conference as a big opinion poll, as a big consultation on continental scale, and they are not very keen in ensuring a follow-up. They're not very keen in opening again the reform process. And this is why your question is the key question, because the real political battle is twofold. First, of course, during the conference, to see which idea will emerge and which idea the ones or the others will push and will fight to make these ideas emerge. But the second part of the battle at the end of the conference, how long, how far, how much we will be ready to ensure a follow-up to this request. For me, we should be 100% ready to listen, to ensure a follow-up. But this is the key question that we will see under the French presidency in spring next year.
So there is actually a lot of challenges of the process itself, as you described so far. The biggest challenges might also be laying in how to reach the citizens, how not to only reach those young, urban, digitized pro-Europeans who already, engage in the European cause, but, for example, to reach out into the regions, into elder generations, into perhaps not as much educated areas. So, what are those challenges about, getting really everyone involved? Or are there other challenges also about the process?
Well, 2 points to answer to your question, which is another very important question that you raised. First, we must make it work. The conference must work because the conference, it is a direct democratic participation process without any precedent in the history of the continent, and I would say also in the history of the member state. We have never done this. We have never prepared a European reform with such a wide direct contribution from citizens. So, it is very important that we prove that this method is the right method. We must make the conference work, because my hope and our hope as UEF is that this become the ordinary method to discuss about Europe and to prepare European reforms. Then there is the issue how we can fully exploit, or how far we can go in exploiting the potential, the great potential of this conference. And you recall, for example, the digital platform. You recall the need to extend the debate at local level, in the rural areas, at the regional level. And for this, it is clear that we cannot run all this process as EU institutions. For this, we need to make sensitive and to involve and to push mayors, regions, regional parliaments, to engage and to promote and to organize events in parallel to the conference on the ground. And this is also very important to involve the organized civil societies. There are some representatives of the civil societies, of NGO association, which are formally member of the conference. There are the social partners. It is clear, for example, that the social partner, together with the region and the mayors, can play a key role, because if they fully use their networks, fully use the membership of the trade unions, of the business organization, to organize debate, to promote information, to give us back the contribution of their members, it is clear that in this way we really can reach reach beyond the formal members of the conference. It is a difficult process. We need a contribution from the media, from the public service, from the public TV, from the public radio. For this, we rely a lot on the commitment, on the initiative of the national governments, together with the office of the European Commission, the European Parliament, the different member states. It is a collective effort. It is clear that the more we play like an orchestra in full harmony, the higher will be the number of the citizens will be aware, will be informed about this process, and that we will have actually the actual possibility to make their voice heard.
Wonderful. So we heard a lot now about the hopes, how the process might work out to involve really as many as Europeans as possible. But are there also fears of the outcome? I'm just imagining, for example, what if a lot of people hijack the train and use it for getting anti-democratic ideas into that conference or different, nationalistic, whatever. Are there fears also about this process and its outcome?
Certainly, I am concerned. I don't know if I am concerned. I'm concerned because, especially on the digital platform, it is clear that you can be victim, you can be hijacked by fake news or disinformation action. The expert and the company who, under the supervision of the European Commission, is running the platform has taken some moderation measures to avoid this kind of attacks, to avoid to be hijacked. It is clear that we are always in a gray zone between the necessity to defend ourselves from disinformation and fake news and the obligation and the will of ensuring freedom of expression to all the different point of view. But it is clear that on one side there are some means through the moderation of the algorithms to identify whether it is an organized disinformation action. On the other side, this is another good reason to mobilize the citizens, to mobilize those who genuinely wants to give their contribution without being part of a political network, to engage, to know about the platform and to put their ideas in the platform and to organize events and to interact in the digital platform. And there is still much work to be done for this.
So let's take a brief jump into the future and imagine that thousands and thousands of ideas have been submitted next spring. What will happen with all these ideas? How will they be structured? What is happening, for example, if one person writes, I want school to begin at 9 o'clock in the morning. Is this something that will be considered, or is just one person and that's not enough? Or is there any system behind it, how to follow up?
Yeah, there is a system which is again twofold. On one side, there is a moderation action in the digital platform, and it is clear that the idea which emerge on the top are the idea most suggested. So it is clear that if I'm the only one to say I want the school to start at 9 o'clock, it is difficult that this will become a contribution which will get a follow up at the end of the conference. But if we are many to ask, we want a better education about Europe in the schools. It is clear that this, for example, would be an orientation, an idea which we should be presented to the conference, which should be discussed by the conference, and if it get a majoritarian consensus in the conference, should be given a follow-up. In this case, both, especially at national level, because it's still a national competence, and also European level. You see the difference. On one side, one citizen say school will start at 9. On the other side, thousands of citizens say we want to better educated about Europe. This is the way the system is going to work, and it is clear that the more the citizens ask similar ideas, the higher will be the chance that those ideas will be taken on by the plenary, by the conference, and will be given a follow-up, which I hope will be a proper follow-up, and which I will fight. We as UEF we are member of the conference. We are formal member of the conference. We have our Secretary General who will represent the UEF, and there are also some members of UEF like me, like the Vice President Dominic De Vesa, like others who are also member of the conference. So we will push as UEF to make the most of this process, to fully respect those citizens whom we ask to participate and who they are participating actively. And to me, the best way of respecting them is to take the commitment to ensure a follow-up to the main contribution and to most demanded ideas.
Wonderful. Just for those who are watching right now and who would like school to start at 9 o'clock, all the ideas that are submitted, you can actually take a look at, and you can like them, so you can raise the chance that they will be heard on the platform. All right, let's jump into the next perspective, the UEF perspective. You already raised the topic. What is the UEF perspective on the future of Europe? What would you like to promote actually from the UEF side in this discussion? Would you like to motivate, for example, members of UEF to submit specific ideas, or is there another mission that you would like to achieve for the future of Europe?
My message is to all the individual members of UEF, to all the individual members of UEF Austria, to all the individual members of Europa Union Deutschland, Movimento Federalista Europeo, etc., to all our national session is, first of all, subscribe in the platform. Subscribe in the platform. As not, you're already there because we have subscribed. We have been the first organization to submit ideas in the digital platform already last April. But this is not enough. We are representing you. We are pushing our ideas, but mobilize yourself, register individually, and talk about the platform in your family, at work, with your contact, with your friends, because this is also a way to multiply the participation. And this is the kind of participation and commitment which I would like to see from national section. Of course, organize events and register the events on the platform in order to let all those who are registering the platform in the whole continent to get to know the events that you do, to learn about your initiatives and about your proposals. Then, as UEF, it is clear that for us, to reach certain fundamental goals, and for example, the citizens panel has already ask a Europe which should be more efficient, should ensure more taxation justice, should be more efficient in fight against social inequalities. They say that they want a European army. It is clear that from UEF, our duty is, of course, to promote this kind of debate, because it is from these issues, social inequalities, green transition, digital revolution, our place in the world, our values, etc. It is from these that we have to start. Our duty will be to explain, to translate in very simple action and simple words that to achieve these goals, for example, we must get rid of the veto, because the veto, the possibility that one single government among 27 block an initiative in defense, it is clear that it doesn't correspond to the union that we need today. So we fight for get rid of the veto and democratically decide by majority of the minister or the prime minister in the council and of the parliamentarians representative of the citizens in the European Parliament. We want to provide the union with the real capacity to invest, to promote sustainable growth. So we want to revise the way the budget of the union is conceived, because it is clear that we need to give the union the means for our ambitions and the means to respond to our needs. These are only few examples of what our action should be. We should be at the center of the societal debate, listening and discussing about the needs which are felt by our citizens, education, culture, and then we must be clear enough in showing the way to translate these needs into specific reform for the European Union. I think these are our duty, and this is our mission in the conference of the future of the Union.
Beautiful. So we got a little bit of an insight about the conference. We took a look at the UEF perspective. We heard about you and your experiences as MEP. Now I would like to ask you for, the final question about your personal stand. You're also a citizen. What is your personal opinion? What would you wish Europe to become?
I'm Italian. I was a member of the national parliament in Italy. I was a member of the government in Italy for almost 5 years. Then I moved to France, and I was elected in France in a list where there were 3 nationalities, not only the seven nationalities, not only the French nationality, but 6 other nationalities. Why we did that, and why I did that? Because we wanted, and I want to embody a new way of being a European citizens and a new way of making politics, which must get out of the strict national borders. Politics must become more and more European, more and more transnational. We must build up a European space of democracy, a European space of politics and of citizen participation. And to do so, we must push for the creation of a truly European political movement, truly a European citizens movement, truly European political parties. Because it is impossible to have a fully fledged democracy at European level without a fully fledged politics at European level. So I stand for this. I stand for the introduction in the European Union of transnational lists. I want to double the democratic power of choice of the citizens that must be allowed to choose their representative at national level, the Austrian representative, the French representative, the Italian representative, but must get also a second choice, a second ballot vote, where they directly vote the European political parties and the European political movement. And this, I'm sure, it will be a small step towards a great objective of promoting a truly European democracy.
Thank you so much for these wise and enlightening words. I'm very happy to hear them. I wish you all the best and a lot of energy and hope to hear you soon.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this initiative.
Union of European Federalists.